Hello and welcome to this C programming video. My name's David Thorne. In this video I'm going to be showing you all about how to read and write to files using the C programming language. And we're going to try and do, well, we're not going to try, we are going to show you as low level as possible. And then towards the end of the video we're going to start moving up a little bit higher level to show you what other types of code you can use that are a little bit easier. But we're going to start as low level as possible. With that said, this is the file that we're going to be creating, writing to, reading from, etc, etc. And as you can see, it doesn't exist right now. It's not on the left hand side, and when we create it, it will show up and we can read and write from it using Xcode as well. Okay, with that said, let's just jump straight into it. Now, in order to be able to create this file, we have to open it up first of all, and we have to open it up in a mode that will create the file. And this comes with a function called open. And this is within inside of the file control header. Now, the file control, the open function returns a file descriptor. So let's just call this and say open. And you can see the first argument that it takes is the path to the file that we want to create. The next one that we need to give is the mode that we're going to do. And this first one is going to be create, all right? And this is only going to create the file if it doesn't exist. This doesn't mean to say that you can write to the file. It's just going to create that one file if it doesn't exist. And we're going to create it with these file permissions. So we're going to use octal. 6 is then read and write for the user. 4 is then read only for the group. And 4 is then read only for other. Okay, so now we have this file descriptor. We want to be able to check to see whether it's a good one or not. If it's not, it's going to return -1. And in this sense, we can just say basically an error has occurred here, and do \n, and we'll say exit, I don't know, like 2 here. So printf comes from the standard library. So let's just come up here and include the standard, the standard IO, and then the exit comes from the standard library here. Okay, so now when we've done that, we know that the file exists. All right, and we'll just do \n there. When we run this, we'll see the file come on the left hand side, and we now know the file exists. So when we run this, you'll see the file exists, and on the left hand side the file is actually there. So let's just go ahead and remove it once again, and just to show you why we have to say create first. If we go to write only mode and we run this again, you'll see an error has occurred. So we've got to add the create first if we want it to be created in the event that it doesn't exist. We can OR these both together. So basically creating if it doesn't exist, and then giving us a file descriptor that is in write only mode. All right, so when we run this again, we see the file now does exist, as you can see. All right, so this is now showing you how to open the file. Let's now show you how to open the file using the standard io.h instead. So here we can say the file, and here we're going to give it a pointer. So we'll say f_fd is equal to fopen, and this takes a path here. And now, and the mode is just a string basically, and we want to say we want to write to the file, and we want extra stuff as well. Now we could just say write, and this is synonymous basically to this here, all right? This W will create the file in the event it doesn't exist, okay? Now we could now basically say FD is gone, and say _FD is equal to null. Then we can exit, I don't know, 4 here, and say an error has occurred here instead. Now this FD doesn't exist anymore. However, we can say file number and then say FD is equal to 1. So now we've converted the file itself to a file descriptor, and we are checking how we did before to see whether an error has occurred. Right, and when we run this, you'll see file exists, my file is there. Let's just remove it to show you that it does actually work, right? And we do it again, the file exists. Let's just go now to say put it into read only mode, and we can see that we get an error. And if we then run it with the command, the breaks points, you can see that it had a problem in the initial error. Okay, so you can now see how it can be done in both manners. Let's just comment that back out again, and let's put that back to be just the file descriptor instead, and say file descriptor here is equal to -1. So there you saw how to do it with open, and you saw how to do it with fopen. Now when you open a file descriptor, you need to make sure you close it as well. So this can be done using the close function. This close function is part of the Unix standard header. So it's always important when you open a resource that you close the resource as well. We don't need this second check here either, all right? And we run it again, you see the file exists once again, and on the left-hand side you can see that it is there. So now we've seen how to open it in both forms. The closing of it is just fclose. This is part of the standard IO, and this will just then close the file descriptor, but you could just say file number and then underscore FD as well if you wanted to close it, all right? That would then convert it to a file descriptor and then close it as well, all right? Now that we've done this, we can now write to the file descriptor. So let's just say here, write FD, and the buffer that we want to write to, we're just going to say is then a buffer. And here we can say string length and then buffer, all right? And in order to use the string length, we need to include then the string.h. And now we need to create our buffer, which is just going to be constant char buffer. And we'll just say this is the content and do a \n. Happy days, all right? This write is going to return the bytes written. Now this is an unsigned size t, so we can just call it bytes written. So this is not an unsigned. This is a signed. Excuse me. If it was an unsigned one, it would be size t. But because this is a signed one, bytes written can be negative as well. So we want to check if bytes written is more than 0. This just tells us that the number of bytes written was, and we can just do ZU here. Whoops. ZU \n, and then we just say bytes written there. And yeah, this is basically it. And we can come here, and the number of bytes was written was 20. So when we look at the file, you see this is the content. Something that I want to make clear to this is if we just say like word, right, instead, and we now run this, the create doesn't reset the file, all right? When we open it for writing only, it places the pointer at the beginning of the file, so the cursor at the beginning of the file, all right? So when we run this again, you'll see number of bytes written was 5. And when we look at this, you see word, all right? That's because we put a \n there. And if we just run this again, say this, whoops, this is the content, do \n and run it again, all right? And now we write word instead and run this again, you'll see that when we come to my file and word is at the beginning, is the content, all right? So it doesn't overwrite, it doesn't reset the file. It just opens the file, puts the pointer at the beginning, and this is where you can write to. On that one note, when we know that we've written all the way these number of bytes, if we want to read from that one file, that cursor is still here, all right? It hasn't moved back to the beginning again. A way to move it back to the beginning again would be to close the file descriptor and then open it once again. But we can also use lseek, which this is then going to say the file descriptor that we want to remove the cursor from, basically. And we're going to say set it back to 0. And now we need to say the type, the mode that we're going to use. We're just going to say lset, and this does return the position as well, but we know it's going to be 0, okay? So we now reset it back to the beginning so as we can read from the file too. So in order for us to read from the file, we want to come up here and then add that read-only permission as well. Well, a read only and a write only. There's also a shorthand for that, which is then read write here instead. So we can say we want to create it and we want to open it for reading and writing too. Okay, so now we want to be able to read from the file descriptor, and we're going to read it into a buffer. Well, let's just change this to content instead, so it's a little bit more descriptive. And now we're going to create a char array buffer, right? And we're just going to say, let's just make it 50, all right? And we're going to say write to here, and then we're just going to say that we're going to read from this. So we're going to read this information into it, and you can see here that we've got a size T as well, and this is bytes read, not rad. And here we can do this and say bytes read, number of bytes read was bytes read. And this has now populated the buffer. And remember, if we're going to print out using printf the buffer using a string, we need to make sure that we add the null terminating. We want to add this on. So if we're going to say 50, we're going to say 49 here because the 50th one is going to be equal to \0. All right. Oh, so we want to say 49 here is then the last one. So we are saying read only 49. We want to populate this buffer only with 49 bytes. And then the final buffer we're going to set to \0 instead, right? And then we're going to print it out, and then we close it as well. So when we run this, you can see number of bytes written was 4, number of words, number of bytes read was 20. Word is the contents, and then the file exists. All right, and I'm not 100% certain why that 337 is there, and I'm just going to let it go. All right. But this is how we can do it here. Now, using the fread, we can use using fread here. We say basically that we want to write into the buffer the size of char. We're going to say, and we're going to say that we want to write 49, and the file that we want to read from, all right, is then the file descriptor. But in this sense, we only have a FD, a file descriptor. So we need a file again, right, to be able to do this. Okay, so we are going to come down here, and we're going to come down here and create this just for reading instead, right? And read from this, and we'll say fclose. This as well. All right, we'll assume that everything's working fine, okay, with this underscore FD. So we are f reading from here, and we'll just go from there. All right, and let's remove this and remove this, and that should all be fine. Okay, so it still does exactly the same thing, and you have to excuse me, I don't know what this 337 is doing. All right, but maybe I'll find out later on, but right now I'm just going to skip over it. So this is how we can now do it using fopen. It's a lot easier. Fread, whether it's not easy or not than read, I don't know. That's be down to you. But the key thing here is that if we try to now read it again, the cursor is at the end of this one file. So if you want to read it again, you're going to have to set it back to the beginning again for reading. You never know. It could be that every single time you read to the end of the file, you know that something else might be reading to it at a later stage, and you don't want to close that one file descriptor. You want to open it. You want to use the same file descriptor over and over again. You've got to have to reset it back to 0 or the position that you want it to be at that one time. With that said, we've now definitely covered opening files. We've covered closing files. We've covered fopening files. We've covered fclosing files too. We've covered writing, and we also covered F writing 2. We also covered F writing 2 as well. So these are the different ways to be able to do this. Now there are even more ways to do this using the likes of fprintf and so on. But I just wanted to show you at a fundamental, kind of the lowest level that we can possibly go at how to do this. All right. Now, I'm sorry for this 337. I may probably put it in the next video or something if I work out what was going on. All right, but for the time being, I'm going to let this go. All right. It can be a thing for another day. With that said, if you've got something out this one video, I would be super happy if you like or subscribe or even just share the video. One of them, I don't mind. And if you've got any questions, feedback or concerns or anything like that, then let's start a conversation in the comment section down below. Final note is you see that I'm filming this on the 25th of September. This video will be released on the 2nd of October because I already have videos pre-planned and recorded for the other days. Now, if you are a person that really wants to watch all of the content right away, and you've noticed on my C programming playlist that there's a whole bunch of videos exclusively at this one time, only for members, then it's down to you whether you want to become a member or not, but that is one of the perks that you will get. I may add additional member levels in the future with additional perks, but for the time being, if you do want to watch the content straight away and support me even more than what you are supporting me, because the fact that you are listening all the way through to the end of this video is super brilliant and super awesome to me anyway, and it's already kind of enough. So with that said, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching all the way through to the end. That means probably more to me that you do that. If you've got, like I said, any questions, let's start a conversation in the comment section down below. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao, and goodbye.